What up, no?
I said I had to be ready for Erica's energy because her energy is always on like 100.
It's on 1,000, but normally that's when I haven't worked a 9-hour shift.
Right.
Catch me on Monday to Friday after 5:30. Then it's a little different.
Right. Oh my gosh. Oh, the time is finally here. I feel like I want to like do a dance. Like every time I see you,
play
I
music.
call Erica E. I'm like, I just feel like dancing. I feel like singing. I just feel like jumping. Her energy is always on. Like she said, 1,000. It's not even 100. It's 1,000. Yeah. So we here. We live.
What's up, everybody?
Right,
I'm
so
asking the
excited.
Cover Me crew.
Yes. So as people join, E, you should be able to see I'll be posting. People say hi, whatever the case may be. If you see a comment that you may want to engage in, it's up to you. Whatever. We just gonna flow. Just like how we've been flowing. We had a whole podcast.
A whole podcast
behind the scene. So I got to figure out how to start doing podcasts behind the scene and then letting y'all see what we be talking
about. Do like little clips afterwards. You know what I mean? Just throw some up there.
Right.
That'll be bomb.
So the time is finally here. I'm super excited. When I asked Erica, would she come on, to be one of my guests? At first, it was like a pause, and my thing is, I'm like, well, wait, why she ain't respond yet? And
no, it wasn't a bad pause. It was a protocol thing, right? Because tonight normally is my rehearsal night for praise and worship, so I just wanted to clear everything away. But I'm like, oh no, like I was definitely for it immediately, but I was about to text like, heck yeah, and I'm like, oh wait, hold on, let me
wait. Right. I can't
get it together first, yeah.
Right. No. Right. So it was all good. So she texted me like it was like 12 o'clock. The next 12 o'clock in the morning, like, absolutely. Right. I just had to check in first. I'm like, okay, I feel you.
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm super excited to be on here. Like, really am.
Word. I'm excited to have you, for real. I am excited to have you. We are definitely we Virgos. So
we the best that ever did. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Just want to put it out there. Jesus was a Virgo. Okay. Nobody believes it, but it is true. That's why we're so amazing. That's why we're so amazing. Try to tell everybody, man.
See?
He couldn't have been no other sign.
He could not have been. He could not have been. Hashtag Jesus is a Virgo. I'm just saying.
Get a shirt made. We're all September.
Yes. We're gonna have a good time tonight, y'all. For real. This is amazing. I'm super excited. So right. Hey everybody. Hey.
What's up, everybody?
Before we start diving right on in, everybody is just coming on. I appreciate everybody still rocking out with me, still supporting me. This is year 3 for me. Yes, and I'm still going. I'm still persevering. I ain't giving up. I am not giving up. Never. So thank you everybody for your continued support. Thank you everybody who has purchased the book, who has purchased a hoodie, a t-shirt, a mug, whatever. Just thank you for your support. I really, really appreciate y'all. So before we dive right on in.
Big up to the Virgo, Sean.
Right, that's right.
Let me stop. Everybody does say hi. Say nothing to nobody. Hi, everybody else. I just said the Virgos out there.
Yo, Erica is a mess. Y'all gonna be laughing tonight. That's all I gotta say. Now, I definitely gonna be like, she's dope. She dope. We dope because we Virgo. So y'all already know. I always ask all my guests, right? I feel like this question it has become a part of my my first question that I always ask everybody. How did you feel about the questionnaire that I sent?
I actually did not answer it as soon as you sent it. I think I had to sit down and actually process. That's something I've been doing a lot lately. I read the questions and then came off of it.
Mm.
Because I felt like those were some of the questions were some things that I hadn't really thought about. So I thought that they were great questions, to be very honest with you. And I think that it gave me that time to process a few things of when certain things started, when certain freedom started, when certain unmasking started. And then also realizing that I still have a ways to go as well. So,
Right.
yeah, yeah,
That part.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Like, yeah, like it's a continuing journey. I
Oh,
always say,
definitely.
you know, and for me in my head, right, when this all kind of like came about, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do the podcast. I'm gonna write the book, and I'm done. Absolutely not.
Right,
Like when I begin to really start to really process a lot of the things that I needed to unmask and uncover and unveil, it's like, oh, this is not finished. This is gonna be a
right,
forever journey. Right? Like every season is gonna be different. I'm always going to be unlocking something, unmasking something,
right.
somewhere, somehow, some way. So yeah, it's definitely a continuing journey. But I'm on a ride. I'm on a ride. I'm not
Yeah, it's
jumping.
definitely I don't know if you ever been on Medusa, but it's like it's Medusa.
For
It's a lot of
yeah, I
toss
haven't
and
been on that
turns
ride
and
since I was
I
in
remember
high
my first
school.
time on Medusa and I was like, my God, this is life. This is definitely life. It's not Nitro where it's a couple of drops and it's Medusa where you don't know where the next turn gonna be, the next spin, the upside. Yeah. Yeah, I'm on
Yeah,
my life is on my life. Well, I can't speak for nobody else, but my life is on Medusa.
that the visual is what just got me like
Yeah.
for real. Yeah,
My life
so I
is
need y'all to
definitely on
go
Medusa.
on YouTube and look up the Medusa. That's the
Yeah.
life right there. Hashtag Medusa. Yeah, y'all
Hashtag
know.
Medusa. Cause I can't life just been life,
Wasn't
So
we just saying that too?
yeah, like it really has. I feel like as I get older, I'm realizing that I wish I was younger. That's really what it is. It's like I kind of get mad at the kids I work with because I'm like, yo, y'all don't know how good y'all got it. Because it's like adulting is whack. Like it's so whack. We used to be like, I can't wait till I'm an adult. I can't wait. Take me back. Take me back, dear Lord. Like, mm-mm,
Word.
mm-mm. It's
Oh
ghetto.
my!
Get somebody else to do it because I don't want you.
It's,
No,
I
thank
was
you.
just getting ready to say, adulting is ghetto, as Zaire
It is.
always says. He always he always
It
calls something
really
ghetto.
is. It really
Adulting
is.
is ghetto. Yeah. So if I could really, like, really just go back to really enjoying being a kid, I
That would
just
be
me.
grand.
Yeah, that
That
would
would be
definitely be
grand.
grand.
That'd be
Definitely.
grand. Yeah, I think that I've learned at 30, I had prayed a prayer. And the prayer was because at 30, I don't know if anybody else out there, but 30, things just shift automatically. Your mental, your emotional, your physical, definitely your physical. Woke up with a backache on my 30th birthday. Um, but with that, the prayer that I prayed was everything that I've suppressed, the things that I haven't come to terms with, the things that I just are probably just sitting in my subconscious, that are affecting me as an adult, to please bring them, into remembrance so I could deal with the root of them.
Mm,
Um, and that was a fun prayer. God's so amazing in a way that he didn't like pile it all on me at one time, but he also like did it in a way where it's like it's inconvenient times of telling me. It's
right.
normally like when I'm ministering to somebody, right? Or talking to somebody, um, that it happens that he reveals something about me and it's just like, aha, like, oh wait,
Mm-hmm.
that's me, So that's why it's been more of a journey in my 30s. I think because of that prayer. They say, watch what you pray for,
Yeah.
because some way, somehow it's gonna come to fruition and you just better be ready to deal with it when it comes.
Right.
So yeah.
Yep. Yep. Facts. All facts. So brag about yourself a little bit. E, right? Because and I call her E, but Erica Nicole, right? But yeah, maybe somebody may be on that may not know Erica, right? So kind of brag about yourself a little bit. Talk
All
about
right.
who Erica is. Isn't that so hard?
Look,
It's
it
crazy
is
how
because you know what? People see me, right? And they think that I'm a braggadocious person, right? Like they think that I'm conceited and all that stuff. I feel like I have a high self-esteem, you know. But when it comes down to like people giving me compliments or me like bragging about myself, you know, that's a little different. But I'll tell you guys a little something, something, you know what I mean?
right?
First off, I am 35 years old. I know I don't look it. And don't try to say I do, because people tell me constantly I
Take
don't.
a
All right.
picture.
Don't do
Right.
it. But no, I'm 35 years old. Um, I love music. Like music is like the air I breathe. First
Mm.
God, then music is like the air I breathe. It's just like if you say something to me, I'm gonna make a song out of it just because. So I love music. I love singing. I'm very goofy, extremely goofy. You know, I'm also very sarcastic.
Yeah.
I'm very blunt. But the one thing that I pride myself on is that I want the best for anybody that I come encounter with, even those that I don't know. Like I just want the best for them just if I just hear about it. Like I use, for example, somebody I don't know, but like I would be like, I want the best for Kanye West, you know, like stuff like that.
Right.
So it's just like always trying to figure out a way to like help people that don't seem like helpable in a way of being able to reach them. I love animals. I have a dog and a cat, but in the house, 3 cats and a dog. Um, what else? I love children. I love children. Now I love certain age groups more than others, but overall, I love children. My passion um, is to really give back and to help youth navigate through life with some realm of guidance that I didn't feel like I had growing up. So the age bracket that I really um, cling to is like your 12 to 18 because I felt like
Yeah.
that was my time of like feeling like I had to really navigate through life by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I didn't have parents. I had parents in a home. I had a sister. I had two sisters and a brother. But I still felt alone a lot of ways because I wasn't like everybody else. I was like, as they would call me, like the black sheep. And to this day, I'm still kind of like the black sheep as well. I am a pastor's kid, which makes life complicated some days, most days.
Right.
Um, I am also a Christian. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I also believe in taking good practices from other religions, I should say, and making my own like in realms of like meditation and you know, just becoming like one with yourself, like a oneness, a awareness, you know, with certain things that may not be as specific in the Bible. So yeah, I could sing, you know. I play the guitar,
Right.
play the drums, you know. I'm musically inclined, let's put it like that. But yeah, that's pretty much me. I have a business, Life Lessons 1987. Um that pretty much is about coaching, coaching people through life and helping people with life experiences and all that jazz. And I think I heard somebody in the background talk about my sneaker fetish, my love. Not even say fetish, my love for sneakers. Anybody want to send me sneakers? I wear a size 11 men's, 12
You
women's.
know who that was? That was
You
Steve.
know,
Also, don't forget
yeah, I
about
know. Yeah,
Steve.
yeah, no. I sneakers is a problem, but I had to realize why my love for sneakers came about
Hmm.
because
Talk about it.
it wasn't always like that. So, prior to my parents dressed us until probably was about like in high school. Neither here nor there. We used to wear shoes and stuff all the time. I never had a problem with wearing shoes. Never. But at 12, I got diagnosed with lymphedema, which my lymphatic system controls my fluids throughout my body. And because they're not certain of why it stopped working, my legs are swollen. So I found comfort in sneakers knowing that people would pay attention more to the sneaker than to the swelling of my legs.
Mm.
So at that point in time, my dad was pretty much financing the sneaker journey. I don't know if he felt bad or he was just like, hey, like, I'm a pretty decent kid. So let me just buy her, a whole bunch of sneakers. And then from then on, like, it's just become a thing. Now, don't get me wrong, I love sneakers. Like I love them, but that's where the love started. You know what I
I
mean?
didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's where the love started because my parents didn't have us in sneakers and stuff growing up.
Right.
They did. We was in shoes, church shoes, you know. And if we had sneakers, they were Payless. They were not Nike and Gucci and Off White. They weren't those. No, no, no. They were
Right.
Payless sneakers,
Right.
and that we probably had one pair for the whole school year. So like I said, when I got diagnosed, and I felt like they saw how uncomfortable I felt in the shoes, and this was in 8th grade. So
Oh, so
when
you
I
were
got,
diagnosed in 8th grade?
yeah, pretty much.
Oh
Like no,
God.
like around 7th grade, going into 8th grade. This
Mm.
happened. Yeah. So 7th grade, going into 8th grade, this happened. But then in high school, like I wore shoes probably like the first day or so. And then after that, I was just like, nah. Cause it was like, I don't know if you ever heard of Big Bread, but it was like big bread coming over my shoe. I ain't like that. So I
Right.
started I started wearing sneakers. It was more comfortable, more comfortable, number one. And number two, you had like the high tops, which kind of hit it a little more. But I've never been a heel girl. I've never
Right.
been a hill girl. Kudos to the hill people out there. You the real MVP. Cause get somebody else to do it. They not comfortable, and if it's not comfortable, I don't want to do it.
Yeah,
You know,
I used
especially
to
when it
try
comes to
with
my
the
feet.
heels, but man, heels they definitely it's not it's not for me no more.
Yeah, because
Definitely
people
not.
ask me that question. They was like, "Yo, if your feet weren't swole, would you wear heels?" I said, "Absolutely not. No,
Right.
they're not comfortable. No, thank you. Maybe a little wedge from time to time, but definitely not a stiletto.
Right, right, right.
No,
Wow, I
thank
didn't
you.
even realize. I thought that you had got diagnosed, with the swelling of your legs. I thought that was like in your adulthood. I didn't realize that you were
No.
actually dealing with it as a child.
It was a lot I was dealing with as a child. It's like everything came like at like 12 years
Really?
old. Yeah. Like
Wow.
everything came like full throttle at 12. So I always tell people like, like I said, I'm 35 now and I feel like it's always something wrong with my body. And I'm just like, that
Mhm.
sucks since I was 12. Like if it's not one thing, it's another. Then it's another. So some people, the deep folk, be like, well, you need to probably see what's going on within. And I'm just like, I was 12. I was 12. I, I was 12. Y'all want to be deep and spiritual. I was 12. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I don't know why at 12 all of this happened and then things just keep happening. I don't know. But all of it started at 12. So I don't know. Like I don't know
Wow.
if I don't know if I feel like I was being punished. Cause church folk be like, hey, you being punished. But I was like, I kept saying like I was 12. I was
Right.
just going to school. My grades was decent. I talked a lot at school, but it wasn't like I should be struck down by lightning because I was talking too much at school. But okay.
That part.
You know.
That part. So what was, if you don't mind sharing, like, because you said you've always felt like something was wrong with your body. So besides the swelling of your legs, what else was
Mhm.
going on with you too as
So
well?
I had got my menstrual around that time
Mm.
as well. So I had lymphedema. I got my menstrual, but my menstrual was heavy. I never had a light menstrual. So as time went on, like my cramps was crazy. My bleeding was crazy. Um, so into my adulthood, because during that time, I'm not really sure um why enough wasn't done, whether it be on my parents of not thinking that it was anything really major, or the doctors saying that it wasn't anything really major and not really having the answers to everything.
Right.
So some things kind of went untreated and not really looked at to be dealt with early on. So it took me, it's not my fault, but it's my responsibility thing going on here. Where now in my adulthood, now I gotta go and see everything that's going on,
Yeah.
that may have been, ignored. And even in my adulthood, I just was like, hey, this is normal because it was happening as a child, but then
Right.
I guess I got to the point where I'm just like, nah, this ain't working. So even with the menstrual, I was anemic because my menstrual was so heavy. So I was anemic. Um, I think that everything took like a full turnaround when I want to say 2016 ish, when I got into a real heated argument with my ex.
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards, like, I was enraged. And one thing about me is you can't get me enraged. Enraged, it takes time to get me there. And I think the last time that I was enraged was 25. Thank God. I'm not gonna say
Right.
I've been delivered, but I've been delivered for the past 10 years. Hallelujah.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so the last time I was enraged was 25. But after that, like, just in that moment, I got real like it got really heated. And when it got really heated, it was like my body still was feeling crazy afterwards. So I went to the hospital. My ex at well, my partner at the time, I had to they had taken me to the hospital. And they was like, "Do you know that you should have been dead?" So I was like, "What do you mean?" It was like, your hemoglobin is a 4.3, baby. They was like, "You shouldn't really be alive." So
Wow.
I'm like, "Really?" So thereafter, for the next 7 years, I had to get iron infusions week, every week. And it literally made me feel crazy because I'm in there with like old people. Like, it's like
Right.
I'm like this young person coming in there, and it's not like they were only in there to get iron. They had other stuff that they had to come and do, but it was just like I'm so young and I'm in here with old people, and it's making me feel crazy. So, 2021, I made the decision to get a hysterectomy. And a
Mm.
lot of people was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I said, I feel bad for you." God, no. It was getting a hysterectomy was the best and somewhat, I don't want to say the worst decision. I want to say it was the best decision for me to be able to live. I felt like I
Mm.
wasn't living before the hysterectomy. That's the
Gotcha.
reality. I just felt like I couldn't plan things. If I planned things, and my menstrual was just so unpredictable, then it was like I felt so limited.
Mm.
But after the hysterectomy, what I didn't really know was any issues I was dealing with was going to become greater after the hysterectomy because your emotions magnify. And I've just got it from even other people's experiences. Your emotions magnify. So I dealt with depression after the hysterectomy, but not necessarily being able to point out where the depression was coming from. Like before, if
Right.
I was feeling some type of way, I could say, "Oh, well, I'm feeling this type of way because of this."
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I would just wake up like crying, like, "What the heck is going on?"
Right.
So that was one of the other things. And thank God I was already in therapy. I had started therapy at 30. Um, so I was already in therapy and kind of working through some things. And I thank God for that because I'm like, if I wasn't in therapy, I don't even know how bad this could have been, after getting that hysterectomy because it just wasn't planned for at all.
Right.
So
Wow.
the depression aspect of things, I battle often. Like I said, some days I wake up and I'm just like, what is going on? And it's normally could be like, okay, well, I'm depressed because this isn't going right and that's not going right. And that it just be like, just because life is life. you
Right.
know?
Right.
So that's one of the things that if I had to, if I would have known better, I probably would have waited a touch longer to just get a few more things together before it. Yeah.
I was actually going to ask you, like, how did you feel, after having the hysterectomy, right? Because it's like, okay, you have a hysterectomy. It's like, all right, so now, and you just said, you have a love for children,
Hmm.
right? So, but you said that it made you feel better. Like it allowed you to be able to be a little bit more free.
Right. So because we're Virgos, one of the things that I know for me, I have a competitive spirit. And even with the lymphedema, when people tell me I can't do something, that makes me want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I never wanted to have my own children, but
Okay.
it was the I can't have them
Mm,
myself. Because it's not that I can't. Like I can literally make the decision to have somebody else carry because I still have my ovaries.
right.
But it was the I can't that I had to work through.
Mm,
Um, and then honestly, like telling my family the decision I made because I really felt like they expected me to have children of my own, knowing that I wanted to foster and adopt. An
right.
adoption, that's if God Himself came down and said adopt. Neither here nor there. Definitely wanted to foster. Um, but it was breaking it down. It was breaking the news to them because I felt like they were going to be hurt and disappointed, and they were. But because I already expected it, like I had to stand my ground for what was best for Erica Nicole Kearney. You
Right.
get what I'm saying? And I told them like, hey,
Yeah.
I love you and I respect how you feel and I hear you, but I'm not living. Like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm stuck to the bed, bleeding through my clothes. Like that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
So it's like this not gonna work. And they tried like every medicine that they could try. And it was just like I was just tired of trying.
Right.
And what's weird about the things that I've been diagnosed with throughout my years is normally a prerequisite that I haven't experienced. Like what I had was, I always say it wrong, adenomyosis. And what it is it's a scarring tissue of the uterine line that happens after pregnancy.
Right.
I ain't never had no kids.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, so like I said, like I cope with that decision. And like I said, therapy helped a lot with that one.
Man, I'm a huge advocate of therapy. And I remember, before just my personal experience, like with therapy, it was just like when I first started, my first therapist was not a match at all. And I'm like, see,
Mm.
don't nobody know me better than me. And that was the problem, Naisha, right? Because you don't really know
Right.
you. And that's why your thoughts keep thoughting. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm,
saying?
mm-hmm.
So I always tell everybody, just because, when you try it the first time and it may not be a good match, it's just like any relationship, like it's a relationship that you have to develop with your
Right.
therapist. Don't give up on it. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And be honest, like be honest and say, you know what? I don't think this is working. And it's
Mm-hmm.
the therapist's job to say, okay, let's get you, with somebody else that maybe be a better fit for
Right.
you. But therapy is key. So that was a blessing in itself that you were actually, it was kind of like, even though it was like all those things happening and going on, it was still like set up like right on time, for you to be able to actually be in therapy and then kind of be able to talk those things out. Like, what the heck is happening? Like, I don't even
Right.
understand. I know, you know what I'm saying? Because your body went through that drastic change so fast, those hormones just like started to rage out of control.
My Lord. My Lord. Yeah. One thing I always say, I know a few people in therapy, and one of them, one of the people that I talk to, I always say to them, like, if you're not comfortable with your therapist, or if you can't be honest with your therapist, then maybe they shouldn't be a therapist.
Word.
You know?
All
Um, thank God, I've had the same therapist for 5 years. Okay.
What?
The
That's
same
amazing.
therapist, like she hit it on the nail. Shout out to Stephanie. She hit it on a nail as soon as I came in. Now I feel like she be coaching me a little bit. For real, because before I felt like she was very delicate with me, like, and now I feel like she be cussing me out. I don't feel like she be cussing me out. She be cussing me out. It's not a
Right.
feeling. It's a fact.
Right.
But I need it. You know what I mean? Because maybe in the beginning, that's what I needed. Like, the love and being
Yeah.
delicate. But it's like now, Erica, like this how she be. She like, Erica, it's been 5 years. Mm-mm. Like, stop with the BS. And you need
Right.
to X, Y, and Z. So and one of the things I told her I was gonna get her, because she was like, I've never heard it said that way. Because sometimes she thinks that I should even be in therapy, because I come and I literally have my own therapy session with her. She just listens to me. Um, but yeah, I said to her, I said, you control your therapy session, not your therapist. Like, you
That's
literally should not go in there waiting for your therapist to ask you a million questions. Like, you should be telling, and then having a therapist help you to navigate through what you already expressed to them, but not go there and wait for them to say, well, how was your day?
right.
How did that make you feel? Me, I'd be like, my day was horrible. And the reason why I felt that way was because. So she just
Word.
be sitting there like, I feel like she be on the internet. Like, she got this. Mhm. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Erica, of course, But when she need to get in my butt, she do.
Right.
She
Therapy
really does.
therapy is you have to be willing to do the work, but most importantly, like you said, you gotta be honest.
You
You gotta be
have
honest.
to
And I
be.
feel like as human beings, this is not even a culture thing. I just feel like as humans, like how we're wired, our automatic response, like if somebody asks you, like, "How was your day?" "Oh, or "How are you doing?" "Oh, I'm okay. I'm good."
Hmm.
And you suffering in silence and you
Right.
are dying on the inside, but
Right.
too afraid to speak up to say like what's really bothering you. And my thing I learned, I was listening to a sermon. This was a while ago, probably like a few weeks, maybe a month or two ago. Pastor Michael Todd, and he was just saying how when somebody asks you something, or how you feeling, and you're not feeling, okay, like it's okay for you to say I had better days.
Yeah.
Like
It's
you know
called it's there's this word that I've learned. Um a friend of mine had told me about it.
It's
And then
endometriosis.
no, that's
Endometriosis.
not it. No, I don't have endometriosis. It wasn't
That's
that.
not what you had?
No,
What?
it's literally like endo. I typed it in because I never say it right. It's literally adenomyosis, like adenomyo. Yeah, like it's not endometriosis.
Oh, I
But
gotta
no, no,
look
no.
that
To
up.
what you were saying with responding to people who say, how are you doing? And she had told me, she was like, yo, like my boss told me, like, you have toxic positivity. And
Mm.
then it was so funny because we had hung out and I went to Barnes and Nobles and they have this whole book called Toxic Positivity, you
Wow.
know? And I told her, I was like, I'm gonna get it for you. But we're sharing Audible right now. So we're like listening to it to like see how it goes. But it's like responses like that. Like if you're not feeling okay, like it's okay to not, feel okay and to say that. Now, some people don't want to hear your problems. So you got to know that as well. You
Right.
know, if they don't ask, pretty much I'm not gonna just volunteer information. Well, me, sometimes I do volunteer information, even if they don't ask.
Me too.
Because my thing is I like to talk. Uh, so you can be like, how you do? I'll be like, girl, let me tell you about last night. People,
Once
for
we
real,
get to
the
know
people,
it,
the people at my job be like, I just asked you, okay. Mm-mm. They was like, are you good? No? Okay, you're not good? That's fine. We don't want to hear no more. Yeah, I'm that person. I will give you information that you did not ask for. But even what we said last night, I had so many secrets for a long period of my life that now
mm,
I don't have them. I just tell people, number one, that are willing to listen, or
yeah,
I'm going to tell people that need to hear it. But I don't have secrets no more because it's like, number one, I'm grown, right? And some people may be like, oh, so secrets, secrets to me are things that you're holding in and suppressing and it's eating you alive if you have secrets, right?
mm,
Because what else is a secret for? But to withhold information from other people, right?
right,
Like I said, I'm not going to go out into the world and tell the whole world every single thing. But if you ask me a question, like I said, just because of my experience, if you ask me a question, I'm going to be real with you. You may not
yeah,
like the answer, But then don't ask me. If you know me enough and you know I'm gonna keep it real with you and I'm gonna be blunt with you and I'm gonna say what it is that I feel, then don't ask me if you really don't want to know the truth. Just keep assuming or keep thinking or, be in your fantasy world that you want to live in of who I am. And that's fine. But don't
Right.
ask me questions you don't want to know the answer to because I'm going to tell you the truth
She's
and
not
nothing but
lying.
the truth. Yeah, I am. One of my favorite quotes is this above all to thy own self be true.
Mm.
And like I said, I want to say probably I was lying all my life up until like 30. So 35. I've only been telling the truth for like 5 years.
Wait.
5 years. So now it's like, oh, I gotta tell the truth all the time. I gotta make up for lost times,
Ooh, I feel like I have diarrhea of the mouth sometimes. I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh,
Sometimes it's
because
like, oh shoot. Okay.
been wearing a mask, literally been wearing a mask for so long that it had became a part of my personality. Like my mask was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like, so my thing is, I had so many secrets, all like, I feel like forever. I feel like I have not, you 5, I'm only 3. I'm 3 years in.
Gotcha.
With no secrets, right? So like, so I'm sitting and I'm having conversations with people. I'm like, did I just say that? Yeah, you did. Like, and
Right,
I'm like,
right.
oh, okay. Like, my thing is, I feel like I'm just like I'm a open book
Mm-hmm.
now. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I have to I get reminded like, okay, all right, now you should like maybe they don't really want to hear all this, but I'm like, but sometimes I feel like it's necessary
Right.
too as well. And a lot of people they continue to tell me they're like, I don't know why I'm sharing this, but you just make me feel so comfortable. And I say that's because I'm sharing with you. You see that I'm being
Right.
open and I'm being honest, so it makes you comfortable to unmask,
Yeah.
right? Like because that's not living life. Masking
It's not.
yourself it's just is more work than it actually is to allow yourself to really literally take off the mask. Like literally
Mm-hmm.
that's what I have, like a visual every time I'm on a podcast, every time I'm talking to somebody. I feel like I'm literally going like this. I'm lifting the mask up and allowing
Right.
people to really see the inside of who Naisha is.
Exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, we are who has to live with ourselves.
Yeah.
Because everybody else can walk away.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like everybody else can walk away. My friend just said I'm a professional truth teller.
Yes. Right.
Let me tell you something. It is what it is. Like I said, like you said, diarrhea of the mouth. Because feeling that way sucked.
Oh.
It really sucked. And you would think, for me, I don't think that I necessarily wore it well for myself. Like
Mm.
have you ever, I'll use example, a perfect example. The other day, I put on an outfit because we had to go to a job function. So the my boss gave us specific colors to wear or how we supposed to look. So I put that on. I went out that evening to my sister's birthday party or dinner, I should say. And everybody was like, oh my God, you look so nice. You look so nice. And I'm sitting there like, it ain't that great. You got like, for me, it's like, it ain't that great. Like y'all are seeing something, but for me, it ain't that great. Like it
Mm.
really isn't. So you seeing me laughing and joking and stuff, it is not me necessarily masking how I feel. It's just a matter of, hey, like, hey, if something funny, I'ma laugh. If something itch, I'ma scratch it. But
Right.
it's not me necessarily hiding myself to a point where you can't see that I'm not okay, or you don't want to see that I'm not
Mm.
okay, because then you
You.
feel like you
Mm.
have some type of responsibility to say, hey, what's going on? And some
Right.
people really don't want to. I've learned that now because you still have to protect your own energy as well, right?
Yeah.
When somebody says, oh, I'm not doing great, well, I'll be like, oh, you have my prayers. Shoot, because I ain't doing great either. Shoot, I ain't nothing I can say to you, right now.
Listen.
Literally a couple of weeks ago, right? Went to this job fair and I'm like helping host the job fair with my job. And this young lady, she's like boohoo crying. She come for a job, but she's like boohoo crying. So one of the other ladies from the job is like looking at her. I'm like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Nothing, right? Like I'm just looking like, okay, well they got it. So then they moved the lady. Now one of my coworkers is like talking to like, "Are you okay?" And I walk by, my coworker looks at me like, like, "Hey,
Right.
you see that she's crying?"
You're not gonna say nothing.
I went and grabbed the stuff that I needed, went back to the table. Girl still crying, and my coworker dealing with her. So my coworker came to me later, like, "Yo, like, normally you be having something to say. Like, I looked at you because I swore down you." I said, "Oh no, baby, I ain't have nothing for her. I didn't have nothing for her at all whatsoever." I said, "Don't think because I had the ability to help means that at that moment in time I had the capacity to help. If God didn't give it to me, then what I'm speaking on my own. And that ain't what I'm trying to do. Because I ain't trying to say something that girl ain't supposed to hear or whatever,
Right.
or be so cliche to where I'm not helping her. And she's just like, oh, everybody's the same.
Saying
So you
that.
know what?
Right.
I'm like, It's some people, if God gives me the provision to say, hey, you need to speak to this person, I'll do that. And sometimes it's casual conversation that he allows me to speak, and not only speak to them, but a lot of times be ministering to my own self.
That part.
Like I said, a lot of the stuff that was revealed to me about me was in conversations with other people that I don't know. Like one of the biggest things I think that will stick with me in how God did it was last year I did a festival. I worked a festival called Izu. It's an EDM where there's a whole bunch of drugs and all that stuff, but great music. I love EDM, electronic dance music. Listen to it. But I was there with this girl, and we were talking, and she was talking about how she was a prayer warrior and all this jazz. And she was just trying to figure out some things that were going on in her life and why she was feeling a certain type of way. So I'm talking to her randomly, and not randomly, but you know what I'm saying, just talk to her in conversation. And at
Right.
that moment in time, I said to her, I said, I had to realize why I wanted to be wanted so much. Right? Here goes the light switch that God puts on as I'm talking and now ministering to myself. As you said, brag on yourself earlier. I'm gonna go back to something about me that people may not know. When I was in my mother's womb,
Come
my
on.
mother wanted to. When I was in my mother's womb, the whole scripture.
Right, right.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
my parents were separated. So because they were separated, she already had Tisha, and they were separated. She wanted to abort me, and she wanted to abort me because her thing is like, I'm struggling with one kid. I'm not trying to have two kids to be struggling with, and me and Jeff are not together. So during that period of time, she was going through a lot of not wanting to have me for her reasons. But what we fail to realize is, as mothers carrying, right? Not me, but you get what I'm saying. As mothers
Yeah.
carrying, everything you feel, everything you eat, everything that you're going through is a direct line to that child. A direct
Absolutely.
line to that child. It ain't like it's going here, there, and no. It's literally a direct line into that child. Your emotions, all of that stuff. So as I was saying, like as I was talking about being wanted, I'm just like, God revealed to me like it started in the womb of you not being wanted to it manifesting and when you got here on earth. Because I always struggle with wanting to be wanted. All
Ah,
since I could remember, I always
that's
struggled with
good.
wanting to be wanted. And I could not figure out for the life of me why people didn't want me. But the
Mm.
reality is, it's not that people didn't want me. I felt like everybody couldn't handle who I was. So because everybody couldn't handle who I was and the deception of the enemy, it's like, oh, they don't want me. When it's like, no, God made you to set you apart. Because you ain't meant to be around them. Because if you're around them, if you keep forcing these relationships, keep forcing yourself to be around these people, it's going to kill you. And it's going to kill who I destined you to be. It's going to kill every bit of personality, characteristic, everything I put in you is going to kill it. So I had to, and I'm not, and I, like I said, this just happened last year. I had to realize that because we're not just talking about friendships here, we talk about family. That I had to be like, well, why they don't want to be around me, but they want to be around this one and that one. And I'm like, I don't get it. But after that conversation with that girl, because then she ended up revealing to me that, wow, that makes sense. She said, because I was supposed to be dead, a stillborn. And they prayed so hard. She said, I'm a prayer warrior. And she said, now it makes sense to me why I go to, she was like, everybody else don't really go to praying like I do. She said, but I go to pray and I go to pray hard. But she said, what you said makes sense due to the fact that they used to pray, like have prayer days for this child to come out and be born. Wow. And here she is right now. So it's like all of that had to take place, like I said, in order for me to realize certain things. And in those conversations of God revealing things to me in those conversations, I'm just like, wow. And of course, you can't be in a conversation like, oh, that was good. You want to be cocky. So
but it was.
Yeah, but I was just real smooth with like, yeah, like as if I already knew this for mad long.
Like, yeah, like I know.
Yeah, I've been knowing this for like 15 years. That's where it all stemmed from, but I wasn't gonna say nothing.
Right.
No, and I just found out literally a half a second before I said it out my mouth.
Right. It was like an aha moment, like
right, like. But no, it's even happened to me prophesying. Transparent moment for people who may not know. So when I was 16 was pretty much when I started dating girls. So like for a long period of time, well, me and my mom's relationship became estranged for like the first few months. And me and my mom was like that. You understand? Like I was still like 15 coming home to sit on her lap and give her kisses and all that jazz. So after that, our relationship became estranged for a period of time. And
at 16?
At 16.
Okay.
Yeah, at 16 years old, our relationship became like pretty estranged because I felt like neither one of my parents knew how to deal with it, of course, because they haven't experienced that as a parent, right?
Yeah.
And they only dealt with it in I guess their way. But their way didn't work for me at all. So it left me feeling very alone during that time frame. And during that time frame, I had a lot of suicidal thoughts of not wanting to be here and all that jazz. Because it's just like, hey, like if my parents, don't really like me, forget the love part, right? My parents don't really like me because of my lifestyle, then and I don't feel like they love me, then how's that going? So as I went into me and my mom are great now. That's my girl. That's my girl. But it took a video.
Love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom. It took a video to expose to the both of them a lot of the things that I experienced. And even though me and Mom's relationship was estranged, me and Dad's relationship became a little different because me and Dad had a rocky relationship growing up. Anyway, because we are a lot alike, so we bumped heads a lot. Dad's conversation changed, which became very aggravating. So it's like, I don't have, Mom was normally my go-to. Like if there's like something in my booty hole, I'd be like, Mom, look at it. Like, she's not my go-to person. So I felt like I couldn't go to her. And then like the conversation with my dad was just like, it became very spiritual, sexuality, wild, all that stuff, he felt like because he was still having a conversation with me, like it made a difference, but it really didn't. Like it just felt like I didn't have parents on both ends, But like I said, after I did the video, at 30, and that was because it was very circumstantial that I felt like I had to.
Right. You talked about that.
Right. It was, I felt like I had to, or else the voice was going to out me on national television. I didn't want that. So I did the video and showed my parents first, and they were very understanding and as well as apologetic, pretty much saying they didn't know. They didn't
Right.
know that's what I was going through. They didn't know that's what I was feeling, what had happened even leading up to that moment. Um, so in a conversation that I had a few years back, I was at Thanksgiving, at somebody else's Thanksgiving, and I was talking to somebody and pretty much end up prophesying to them. But then I'm like, here you go again, God. I'm prophesying to somebody else. You just gotta tell me that my stuff stink too. I don't need you to do this. Okay. Let me focus on them as you
Mm-mm.
would want me to do. But what
Right.
he revealed to me was I could be very conditional with my relationships, not with my love, very conditional with my relationships. And one of the things that he showed me was you're conditional with your relationships because you felt like your relationship with your parents was conditional.
Yeah.
If I was dating only men, then everything would be great, which partially I'd be still feeling that same type of way. But neither here nor there. If you were
Right.
only dating men, like this would be this way versus a consistency across the board of you're my daughter, right?
Yeah.
So in my relationships, it's like, hey, like if you rubbing me the wrong way, I want to be bothered. That's why I said this statement the other day. I mean, not the other day. I said this statement about a year and a half ago. And I said, I don't know if I haven't found my true love or I haven't learned to truly love.
That's good.
You get what I'm saying? Because you
That's
can have your true love and not have learned to truly love because even in, sometimes we be like marriage is ghetto because what it takes to be in a marriage, like you got to deal with people evolving, whether that's for the good or the bad. And
word.
I'm so quick to be like, oh, it's bad for 6 months. Get somebody else to do it.
Right. I
Cause
tap out.
yeah, you know what I mean? Because we have
Yep.
that freedom in relationships. But the thing is, if you want longevity in a relationship, you're gonna have to deal with people changing. One of the greatest
Absolutely.
things that dad, he said, I'm not gonna tell you the whole questionnaire, but one of the greatest things I believe that dad has on his questionnaire when it comes to relationships is what is your deal breaker? What is if they never changed it, or if it got worse, you just like, oh, I'm not doing this no more, right? So I look at that because the reality is, although that question can be answered, that question is a hard question to be answered
It
because
is.
today I can be this person. In 5 years from now, whether it's experience or something that I can be totally different to something that you never even signed up for during that 5 years ago in that questionnaire that you didn't even know I was capable of doing. And now I got to deal with it now. So for me, it's like, yo, you have to really learn that whether it's in a relationship, like in my relationship, if I want a long standing relationship, I have to understand that nobody is going to be perfect. They're going to get on my nerves, and some of them are going to
Yes.
get on my nerves for periods of time. You know what I
Yep.
mean? But the important part that I'm learning now is I have to stop reacting and start responding, right?
Ah, I want you to talk
So,
about that. I want you to talk about that because you said that and I wanted you to explain what does that process look like.
oh, it looks like dot. It looks like death. That's what it looks like. It looks like death. Okay, because
Mm,
you feel validated in the reaction. You feel
right.
validated in the reaction because it's like, oh well, they did this, so that's why I did that. You know what I mean? Versus responding. Responding is I am not. I don't care about how you did things. I'm going to respond the way that I am and who I am and in love, right? Because you may not be there. Because I've realized, I'll give you a great example. In my previous relationships, I was doing a lot of excuses and saying, "Oh well, they had a nasty attitude, so that's why I give them nasty attitude." Or they did this, so that's why I'm doing this, right? But then when I got into my last relationship, they weren't doing anything. in the beginning. Let's be real. In the
Right.
beginning, they weren't doing anything. And because they weren't doing anything, and I still was in this way, I had to look and say, oh, wait, it's me. And that's what
Mm,
made me initially go to therapy. Right. So I was reacting, but I was also responding because of the anger that was within me.
yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So now what I'm learning as I've matured on is that the way that Erica's a loving person. Erica wants to see the best in everybody. Erica, as long as I know you trying to put the work in, man, I will have that shovel right next to you, helping you to get to wherever you need to get to, right? But when you piss me off,
Right.
I still have to respond in that same love that I started with when you didn't piss me off. You get what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what the responding is about. That I'm still going to remain me in spite of what you do. I'm
Yeah.
still going to remain me even if you change.
Yeah.
I'm still going to treat you the same as if you did not just kick my back in or offend me. And that don't mean that I'm being a dummy. No. It just
Right.
means that if you telling me off, you telling me off because there's something in you that needs to get out. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
then go and tell you off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, hey, I respect how you feeling. And obviously, and I'm gonna be brutally honest. So I'm like, obviously, this all doesn't have to do with me. But I do understand that right now I'm the closest thing in proximity for you to release. And you know what? Give me a hug. Come on. Bring it in.
Right.
That's how I've been. Like, bring it in.
Yeah.
Because if I keep reacting to what you're doing, I'm only giving you what you expect
Right.
because you already got it from other people. So I'm only giving you what you expect. So it's like, I'm not about to give you what you expect. I'm not, like I said to you, I don't want to be like everybody else. I'm going to separate myself. And if you don't like me for me, that's fine because I'm going to respond Erica Nicole Kearney way.
Right.
If you don't like that, that's fine. But if you know me enough to know that whether you kick my back in or whether you give me a hug, that I'm going to give you the same, Erica, I'm good with that. I'm done with reacting. It takes too much energy to keep reacting to your energy. That's a
Right.
lot of
It's
energy because it's not my
humanoid.
energy. I'm taking on your energy to then be able to give you back the energy that you've given me. It's too
Yes.
much work when I could just be like, it's okay, Beck. It's okay, Beck.
Right. And that's the crazy thing is, right. So Steve and I this year will be married 8 years.
Woo
And
woo.
right,
New
we are
beginnings.
actually finally. So we've been married for 8 years, but we've been together for 15. And we are
Mm,
finally figuring out this whole process. Right. Like he will always say, like, well, Naisha, you can't be mad because I'm mad. Well, I am mad because now you mad. Like, and we're not getting nowhere because I'm trying to
right,
match your energy, you trying to match my energy, and now we just all mad. We mad at each other. The
right,
kids
right.
the kids feel, kids, they feel the energy, right? Because neither one of us are talking to each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
So understanding that just because he is having a bad moment does not mean that now, Naisha, you have to take on his bad moment. First of all, allow
Right.
him to have his moment, right? But then you come back and you're like, all right, what's going on? You
Mm-hmm.
good now? Like,
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, I have to remain for me, because if I continue to go down that road of, feeling that, I feel like it then just trickles down to a lot of other things start to like come up. Like, and I start to think about like, oh, okay, well, he's shutting me out or he's rejecting me, right? So then all
Right.
those insecurities, right, they then become like, from this small thing of him just having
And
a hard day at work, it then blew up to a whole nother,
mm-hmm.
like, he doesn't love me, and I'm
Right.
like, I'm no good for him, and I'm not enough, and like, girl.
I when I tell you I can relate 1,000%. Um, one it's funny because the things that I learned in therapy about 2 years ago is now starting to make sense now. Right.
Mm,
Because when they were saying it to me, I was like, because what happened was when I went to therapy, I went by myself. But then they were just like, hey, we want your partner to come in with you and discuss some things. So there was some conversation that we all would have together. And I'm just sitting here like, no, this don't make sense. Like they would say, oh, I want you to say I feel. And I'm like, no, it's not a feeling, it's a fact, you know? But for real, yeah, like, no, it's not a feeling, it's a fact. Like one of the things I said to them, this is the one that's like vivid. I had said, well, I feel. No, I'm saying now. I say I feel because it's so easy to say I feel now. Um, they're overindulging. They're eating too much. We go to McDonald's and they want to get a Big Mac, 10-piece nuggets, fries, a Coca-Cola, and an apple pie. Like that's too much. So then they were like, we want you to say you feel like that's too much. That's a fact. It's too much. You understand? But then a little while ago, I went to eat with a friend of mine. And he's big guy, okay? But muscular. Very. I'm so happy I didn't pay the bill. Because it was so much food. But because of his physique, right? That's what he needs to do to keep up that stature, right?
Yeah.
So then it clicks. It is a feeling. It can't be a fact because if it was a fact, it would have to be a fact for all. So for this person, it's overindulging, and this person is like, hey, it's helping them to reach or attain their goal. And it's just like, no, it can't be that way. So it is my feeling of feeling like they're overindulging for my own
Yeah.
reasonings. So that was one of the things that I've learned to now say, like I said, it came out naturally when I started the story, is to say
Right.
I feel, because that makes the person not feel like you're accusing them.
Yeah.
It's different when you say, oh, you didn't take out the garbage and you just want to hear my mouth, all that
Right.
stuff. Instead of saying like, I feel like when I ask you to take out the garbage, it's something that goes unnoticed, or
Yes.
I feel like unheard. And then they could say, you know what, like that, like I didn't mean for you to feel that way. Like I'll be more conscious. You see how it changes
Yes.
when you say I feel versus,
Yes.
direct, like, oh no,
Right.
you meant to do it. Yo,
Right.
oh, because I've been saying it and you've been not doing it. So
You've
you
been
meant to
not
do it,
doing it.
because that's how you be feeling. Like, no, you doing this on purpose. The other thing that I learned is and Dad said it a little while ago, the ability to do something and not the capacity. So I've had to learn that people can't love me past their capacity to love themselves.
Yeah, that's
You know what I'm
good.
saying?
That's it
So
all the time.
it's like, you got to love yourself first. And if you don't love yourself, then you're not going to really give me the love. You're going to give me love, but you're not going to give me the love that I need, because you're
Yes.
not going to have the capacity to do so. Because now to figure out who you are and love who you are, and then try to figure out another person and love that person too, like that's a
Yeah.
lot. Like you got to get one down pack first, to some degree, and then let the other one sink in slowly but surely. But communication, and also not bringing your issue in during the time that person's bringing the issue. Oh, but believe me, I'm going to journal it and we're going to
Right.
revisit it 48 hours from now. Because you said how you felt. Okay, no problem. Yes, I'm here with you and your feelings.
Right.
48 hours later. So I didn't say anything, but I've been feeling like, you know what I mean? Because that's what, like, as you were saying earlier, when you start, oh, well, you made me mad. Well, I made, that doesn't work. Versus saying, hey, let me listen and tune in, actively listen to how you're feeling at this moment in time.
Yeah.
Because you brought it up. This was your conversation. So I can't make it my conversation, now because you brought up your issues. You should have brought up your issues before. Don't wait 20
Right.
years later to now bring up your issues because I'm bringing up that I have an issue with you.
Right.
So
Right.
communication to me has been so big, to the point where now I'm pretty sure people just be like, I wish you just didn't tell me how you feel, because you're always feeling.
I'm always feeling. The
I'm
feelings is
feeling
always
I'm
feeling.
feeling every day. And what's funny is I'm journaling. Journaling helps me process,
Yes.
to even be able to begin to have a conversation with the person or even people, even just like friends, because I have to get it out of my mouth. I'm sorry. I just
Yeah.
have to. Journaling is not enough for me to release. It's enough
Right.
for me to process. So it's
Right.
like once I journal and process, then I feel like I can come and have a conversation that literally is effective, with whoever I need to have the conversation with. And I've woosad, I've calmed down, and I've seen my place in it. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it could be a trigger and it not even be the other person's fault.
Right.
So I'll come back and say, you know what? This is how I was feeling. And I know I was only feeling this way because of something that happened before. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
So either one way or another, I'm going to get it out my mouth. But
Yep.
the journaling is and I just started journaling probably because I don't like to write. But I just started journaling probably about 2 months ago. And it's been
Mm-hmm.
very helpful in the processing aspect of things because my
Is
mouth, I'll be saying what I want to say and I don't want to do that.
You see, I was the opposite, which is a little like weird, but I also feel like it comes from the environment that I was in, as a child. So always, like, I didn't feel like I had the freedom of being able to be open and honest, right, and really
Mm-hmm.
speak. So I've always felt like I had to put a muzzle on my mouth. So I start journaling was a part of the start of my unmasking
Gotcha.
journey, not even realizing that it was the start of it. So because there was a freeness in my writing, right? Like I was able to really what I could not say out my mouth because my thing was I didn't want conflict, I didn't want no issue,
Right.
or no, I can't say that. That's just not right. You can't speak your truth. You can't speak up, right? So my thing was me being able to actually write it out. It was just like it was something that was able to be lifted off of me.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
it then allowed me, like you said, to be able to process. And I felt like that was also a part of being able to pray, right, too, as well, because I was always in my thoughts with praying. Like,
Right.
I'm like, no, this don't sound right. I can't say that to God. I'm like, girl, you didn't mess up the whole prayer because now
I'll be
you
saying what I want to say to him.
that part like, girl, you doing too much. Like, so a part of my journaling was getting it out, being able to pray, and then again going back to that being able to process,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because now I'm getting it out, and now I am able to go back to my therapist and say, listen, this is what I wrote, this is how I was feeling,
Right.
because the thoughts, they were consuming me so
Yeah.
much. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't even know where to start most of the time, because it was so much. But
Mm-hmm.
the journaling is
Yeah, my
huge.
my my journaling. I feel like if somebody pulled my journal, they'd be like, "Ooh, Erica's mouth is."
Ooh.
They're like, "Ooh, is she hurt or not?" My Let me tell. But you said it. Journaling allows you the ability to say exactly how you feel in that moment because
For
it's
real.
not okay to speak to people in your emotions. It's really not
Right. Right.
because you'll say stuff that you really meant, but you wish you could take back because words are lasting. And it's for
Yeah.
that moment. Like I've been in a place where I'd be like, I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to see you for the rest of my life.
Right.
And then 5 minutes later, I'd be like, Dag, but I really didn't feel that way. But
Right.
it's lasting
Mm-hmm.
words in that other person's mind. It can't be erased like, oh, she never said that. It's in the back of their mind that, like, yo, like this person, like, literally was about to like dead me out their life. So
Yeah.
I had to like really realize that, like, yo, even though we say it so many times, words are so powerful, they really are. Because I can remember things that were said to me as a child that still haunt me in deception as an adult.
Yep.
You get what I'm
Fact.
saying? Which sometimes limits certain things. And I literally had to fight. Fighting yourself is the hardest fight that you ever gonna fight in your whole entire life. You understand? Like, I don't care if somebody beats you. Like, fighting yourself is gonna be the hardest fight that you will ever have in your whole entire life. Let
Yep.
me
Me
speak for
versus
me. That's
me.
yeah.
Me versus me.
So I literally have to like fight myself to say, Erica, no, no, no. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. Leave those words where they were. Move forward. Do not believe those words, because you're going to stay right here and you're not going to move.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That.
And it's like, hey, even if they were right to a certain degree, still move, because you still got to find it out for yourself. You follow what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I rather fail knowing that I've tried than to not have tried at all and not even knowing if it's going to be successful. So I just, like I said, I literally have to like fight myself. Like, yo, you just got to do it, bro. And if you if you fail, you fail. Like, hey,
For
as long as
real.
God giving you breath, like, you could try again. Dust yourself
Get
off and
back up.
try again.
Keep getting back. Keep getting back up. Keep
Pretty
getting back up.
much.
Again, we as humans, we are so wired, and I feel like also society, has in some sense, especially like social media, like we have to be perfect, right? And everything has to be, this way, and it has to go this way, and you got to get it right the first time. But
Right.
no, how about dad says, failure is not final. Like at the end,
Definitely
I
not.
was just talking about that last month. Like at the end of the day, you can fail. Like it's okay. You can drop the ball. Pick it back up.
Right.
It's good.
And,
Like
and
it's
keep
all
it
good.
and keep it moving. I had like this thing. Let me see if I could pull it up on my notes, because that's one of the things I struggle with. And you know what? I'm not even gonna lie. Like, sometimes I still struggle with failing.
Word.
You know what I mean? It
Yep.
ain't like I've overcome failing.
Right.
So it's what they say, the fear of failing, right?
Yes.
But yeah,
Facts.
I haven't overcome it. But at the same time, it's like it's one of those fights. Here we are.
Yeah,
I found it. It says, be confident in making mistakes and failing, because those are the tools to learning and succeeding. You
that's
know what I
good.
mean? Because it's like, you ain't gonna learn if you don't make a mistake. You ain't gonna have success if you don't fail. It's impossible. It's inevitable for those things to be the prerequisites to learning and success. So, you know, um, I'm learning that, and trying my best, like I said, every day to really say, hey, like, I be wanting to do like perfect videos, right? Like, I don't want to make a mistake in the
Right.
way I say certain things.
Right.
Like, I want it to
Right.
be perfect. So if I mess up
Uh-huh.
on one word, like, I'll be like, oh, start over.
Right.
So like, I have to get out of that, because hey,
Mm-hmm.
I can make mistakes.
Yep.
Everybody make them. Ain't nobody perfect,
Everybody. We all make
So
mistakes.
it's definitely something that I'm overcoming. I haven't overcame,
Right. Right.
overcoming, but still embracing the process as well.
Right. I
Because
just
there's
feel
there's
like
always
as
something to
human
learn.
beings, as human beings, I don't necessarily feel like you would really ever overcome, like, not necessarily, because at the end of the day, there's some sense of you feeling like, or, being a little hard on yourself, like, dang, like I
Hmm.
messed that up. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's just a
Right,
matter of not staying stuck in it.
right,
Right. So
right.
that's going to be, I feel like, forever, with you being able to go through this process of this thing called life,
Hmm.
period. You know what I'm saying? It's
Hmm.
like, who wants to drop the ball? Don't nobody want to drop the ball. Don't nobody want to fail.
Nobody.
You know what I'm saying? Right? Like, look, she told y'all she make up a song for everything, right? First of all,
They
first
call
of
me the
all,
Barney of my day.
first of all, oh my God, I cannot. First of all, I wasn't paying attention to the time. I just want y'all to know that, right?
Oh my Lord.
My
Just
God.
talking.
So
Oh
we are
my
at an
God.
hour and 15 minutes. This is the so usually it's an hour.
My
Um,
God.
I feel like I have to have you come back on, E.
Yeah, let's definitely do a part two. I had a good time.
But I really did. Like we
I had a good
literally just
time.
was chopping it up. Like this
Yeah,
was dope. This was
yeah.
real dope. But I know last night, like you were mentioning to me, first of all, I am definitely going to post that video of the story, the what was it? Through my eyes, my coming
My
out
coming out
story.
story. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm gonna definitely make sure that I put that in the comments. So if anybody wants to watch that,
Yeah.
definitely go take a look at it. Just to kind of give you a little bit more insight of what Erica was talking about. But I know that you got some upcoming things up and coming. Did you want to mention it,
Yes.
or you want to hold off?
Yes. No, no, no. I'm gonna mention it, and then I'll post, So really quick, my IG is Instagram for you boomers.
Yes.
Um is lifeoferica.nicole. Um, and then my Facebook is pretty much everything. And I'm sorry, my other IG is also life.lessons 1987. So like I said earlier, Life Lessons is my business. And it's pretty much going to be a tool there to help people through life experiences, put up encouraging words and all that jazz. We are under construction right now, but still follow and you'll see things being posted as soon as like Saturday. But
Awesome.
on Life Lessons, I'm putting up a parent challenge and I'm going to also tag it into Erica, Life of Erica Nicole. But I'm doing a parent challenge. So I work with kids, and the age group that I work with is 2.5 to 5 years old, 5 year olds. And I also work with, youth as well in the older category. And one thing that I've learned and that I've been witnessing is the lack of parent interaction with their children, which causes a lot of issues in their education. I know growing up for me, our parents didn't do a lot of quality time. There was quantity, like, yeah, the quality time with us. But our babysitter made sure we got stuff done. Like, we grew up in fear, put it like that. Okay. These kids are fearless.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
talk about it.
because they're fearless, that method doesn't work for these kids. But
Yeah.
one thing I do notice is that we didn't have technology growing up.
Right.
We had to go outside and play, and we had to sit at the dining room table and eat our food and not be watching TV, eating at the same time. So the parent challenge, like I said, is to encourage the interaction between parents and children. And it's a few things that you guys have to do. I can just tell you guys really briefly what they are right now, just to kind of give you a heads up. But the challenge is going to start on February 1st and it's going to be 30 days. So it's going to end on March 2nd. That's the day it's going to end on. Here we go. So it's telling me that I'm currently offline. Thank you for letting me know that. So it's like not showing me. Okay. So one of the things is eat dinner with your children every night, or
Mm,
at least 5 nights out of the week. So at least Monday through Friday, or whatever 5 nights you pick. I understand that you guys have date nights and all that jazz. You guys still have to be married or maybe have your single dating life, whatever. So during dinner, it's what's key there is the communication, to reflect on the day, to ask your children how they're feeling about their teachers, about their homework, whatever the case may be. The next thing is be available and present for your child's homework or extracurricular activities. So it
mm,
doesn't mean you have to hover over them. It just means that be available. Like, ask them like, hey, do you need help with anything? Or can I help you with anything? Um, Even with the extracurricular activities, like if they're in karate, like my nephew's in karate. So I know some of the things that he's learning. Like I'll take him and be like, okay, well, show me a front kick, show me a side kick, stuff like that, to just let them know that you guys are interested.
yeah.
Accomplish a task together at least 3 times a week. That
Mm,
consists of like cooking, chores. I know parents, you guys love that. Grocery shopping, etc. Whatever it is, in
mm,
accomplishing a task, even if it's a project that they got to do that you're involved in, whatever that may be, at least 3 times a week to do that. Once a week, date your child or children. That
mm.
doesn't mean you got to take them to Dave and Buster's or to the movies.
Right.
No, you can have a movie night at home. You can
Yeah.
have a picnic at home. You guys could create a game night at home. Just
Mhm,
date your child, to let them know that they are important, that they are loved. And if you have children, you could pretty much, if you want, break that up. It doesn't have to be all the children at one time. If you want to say, hey, today I'm going to date Johnny and then tomorrow I'm going to date Susie, just to give them their individual time, you could do that as
mhm,
well, however you decide to do it. And last but not least, create a new routine with your child that can go for
mhm,
every day, whether that's reading a book to them before bed, praying, a handshake, something, etc. Something that you could create a routine with your child that lets them know, like, hey, this is a parents and me thing,
yeah.
But there is a twist. You
Uh-oh.
cannot take
Oh,
pictures or videos and post them on social media. You cannot do that, because what we do, and it's called the 30 plus day challenge, because we want you to continue this after 30 days. Okay.
right.
And we don't want the children to feel like you're doing this for clout, as they would say, or doing it for social media. That's the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I want you to be there in the moment, not
Yeah.
to capture the moment, because then you're not there in the moment. And kids know the world of social media. So I
Yeah.
want you to be present in that moment with them and not even care about your phone, not to pull it out to take a picture or nothing. Now, if they actually say, hey, mommy, can you take a picture of this? Because Cruz, my nephew, be like, hey, can you take a picture of us? That's fine. But do not post it.
Post
Let
it.
it be
Gotcha.
your memory. The only
Yeah.
thing you can do on social media, if you would like, is journal on social media. You can write about maybe your day one, your day two, but don't do it where you're posting them and have moments and stuff. Because, like I said, it just really makes it feel like, hey, you're just doing this for social media. You're not doing this because you want to do this for me.
Right.
Um, and as of right now, I'm trying to find a venue after the 30 days. I believe that would be March 4th, to have parents and children come out and tell us about their experience after these 30 days and how it's changed their life as a parent, how it's changed their children's lives, behaviors, and all that jazz. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm working
Dope.
on right now.
That's dope. I love
Yeah,
it.
because these
So when you
'cause these
have the
kids are off the
flyer,
hook.
yeah, have when you have the flyer ready, definitely send it to me because I want to post it
Definitely.
too as well. I actually want to participate
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the challenge. So oh Jesus.
I feel like y'all gotta be like Erica. Wait, if anybody saw Best Man the sequel, like the thing, you gonna be like, Erica, F them kids. They bad.
Oh my God. I'm like, wait, do I? I'm like, yeah. So I know my husband is listening. Steve, yes. So we doing the
Yeah.
challenge. We're doing the
Yeah, and
challenge.
you know what? Plan it out. You know what I mean? That like because I'm gonna put it out and I already put it in, if you plan it out, like, hey, like let's it's so much easier than trying to like, you
Yeah.
know. But
But I
yeah,
think it's a
plan
good
out your
thing.
weeks.
I think it's a good thing. I think it's necessary because society and social media, and just always constantly on the go and moving. There's always something to do. We never
Right,
take those moments, and really honor them. So
right,
I feel like that doing this challenge is honorable, and it's showing a side of you, but it's also allowing you to get to know your children a little bit better, right? And I
right,
like the fact of taking away social media because social media has us thinking the commercial is beautiful.
right.
Um, so, yeah, I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I can't wait to I really can't. The part that I'm looking forward to is the feedback.
Yeah,
Definitely the
yeah,
feedback because interaction is so important. TD Jake said something so profound. He said Gen Zs have an amazing gift to be able to use technology. But the downfall is because they use technology so much, they don't know how to interact with people. So
right.
it's like, hey, I could control technology, but I can't control people. So how do you sell something to people when you can't do it through technology? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So,
right.
they're so smart with that. But when you try to have a conversation with them and ask them, well, how can you work this or critical thinking? Sometimes it's like, oh, I don't know.
You want to do
But you
that,
can give them a
right?
device, they can figure out how to do that like that. So
Period.
yeah, so
Yes.
it's so like I said, it's so important. I know Steve, I know you ride bikes, so get them all on the bikes in the nice
Right.
cold weather.
Right. Yes.
Or we riding tonight.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So I love it. I love it. I'm super
Thank you.
excited. Yeah. I'm down. I'm definitely down. So I can't wait to sign up. So it's been nothing but all good laughs, good
Yeah.
combo, positive vibes, great energy. I thank you so much, E, for
Thank
your
you.
willingness for coming on and being a part of the UTCM family. Now, I appreciate you. I really
Thank
do. I
you.
really do.
I
It was a
appreciate
dope.
you having me. I feel important.
Right, 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 right.
I feel
It
so
was dope.
when you asked me, I was like, oh gosh,
Yeah, right, right,
so
right, right,
important.
right, exactly.
Steve, put the
So
bikes up.
he did. He
Put the
definitely
bikes
did.
up.
He ready. He ready too, right? So before we go, right? I think I want to start something new too. I think I did this last month. But I just want like if you could think of anything right now, an encouraging word to give to the people that's watching, what would it be?
I would say be unapologetically you on purpose. Those who are for you will be there. And those who are not, good riddance and thank God that they're leaving. So don't dumb yourself down. Don't kill your character for other people. Be who you are. And if you feel like you need to change stuff, change it. But don't do it because other people are telling you to do it. Be genuine in who you are at all times. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Well, drop mic. If I had a mic, Erica got a mic. I don't got a mic.
It costs too much. I'm not gonna drop it.
All right, y'all. We out. This is y'all. Good night.
Peace out.
Everybody.
I love you all. Good night.
Love y'all. Good night.